All right, what's up, guys? It's another great week. It's another great week of some WeChat talk. Karl and Christian here, and we got something super exciting. We're
We're
gonna.
gonna be doing mobile game, best mobile games of all time, of ever, of our childhood, of now, just of always.
That's the plan. And so Christian and I, we're talking about a couple of different things these past couple of weeks. So we haven't told, excuse me, we haven't told each other what we have been looking up or what we're going to share for week to week. So we may have duplicates, we may not. One thing we also discussed is that we're trying not to do, any big games, right? We're not going to say Clash of Clans. Hopefully, we don't have any crazy big games out there. We don't have
Yeah,
Kahoot. We don't have like Doodle Jump. Or I'm not speaking for Christian. I don't know what he did,
yeah,
but hopefully nothing like too crazy big. Maybe some underrated games. Maybe some ones that you guys should check out. So Christian, feel free to start.
yeah. I may have missed the memo on the not too many big ones, but I can go ahead and slot in the other ones that I had. I had a couple bangers. My first one. I'll get out of my email here in a second. Oh, it's like freaking out.
No, you're good.
Is this game?
I have no idea
I
what
know
this
this
is.
is near and dear to Carl's heart. Let me know if you can hear it all right whenever it starts playing music.
The hell is this? Oh yeah.
I was like, let me skip to where the game actually starts. So basically, the goal is you're this little cyborg and you got to kill the evil scientists. It's very platforming-esque, kind of like Mario type stuff, where you can like wall jump, wall cling, and this is just like the tutorial levels, best I could find. But it's like really simple platforming that is a ton of fun. I mean, this was like Carl and I, we didn't like kids nowadays. You got like Fortnite and all these games you can just play on mobile. But we kind of had it bare bones back then. It was the early days of mobile, and there was just a ton of different stuff coming out. And this one was a freaking hidden gem. I feel like, that's enough of that. But let me stop the share. There we go. I feel
Oh,
like
you want to
that
talk
game.
about it?
Yeah, I thought I'm still talking about it. That game was a ton of fun. There were bosses, which I was struggling to find videos for in the short amount of time that I had. But specifically, I remember there was like a desert level with a giant scorpion that you'd have to avoid his tail, and a giant monkey that was like a cyborg monkey that would like jump around the screen, and you had to like do a dash punch and hit him. It was really fun. Really short game, but
What was the
a
game
lot of
called,
fun.
Christian?
League of Evil 2.
League of Evil 2.
Two. The first one I did get not very good.
Not
Not
very
it's
good.
like that, but bare bones. So second one, very good. I think like the only really good platformer on mobile. That is one of my personal favorites from back in 2012, 2013.
Yeah, dude. I wanna piggyback. This is actually a paid game. This was actually not a free game. So, Christian and I never spent money on anything, literally nothing. So the fact that I can't remember how it got about that one of us downloaded it and paid for it, but
I think
really,
it was
really good
you. I
game.
think you got me into this game.
I wonder
You
if I
got it
game
first.
shared it for you, but I don't even remember. But yeah, back in the day, paying for some games was actually worth it. So that was a fantastic game. But yeah, I can
Banger
start
game.
and go into the next one unless you had anything else.
No, no. I
All
just got
right.
to change some of my big titles here.
Shoot, I hope I'm not exposing something, but oh, I guess I have this one pulled up, so we're just gonna start with this one. But my
Let
first
me
game
see.
is this game called Smash Bandits Racing, and it's actually something that my cousin got me
Oh,
into. It was super fun. You had a bunch of different cars. You had power ups to stop them. You smash stuff to get power up or to get points. You try to survive as long as possible. But the movement on this game was really good. I'm trying to see if there's a better picture here. But
I was
yeah,
like, there's a
graphics
video
were
if you need to go
great.
into it.
I don't need to go into it if I'm going to get ads and stuff, but yeah, this was a really, really good game. And there's a lot of racing games out there, especially mobile ones, but this one is heavily underrated.
Yeah, weren't there like a bunch of different traps you could use, whether
Yeah,
it be
it,
like tire spikes or landmines or whatever?
let's see if anyone like recognizes these YouTube listeners. But yeah, Smash Bandits Racing. I don't even know if it's a game now, but back in the day was one that I played a lot. Um, and yeah, really fun. Actually, you could spend countless, hours on it, and some games would last, upwards of 20 plus minutes. So, yeah, super fun game.
I love that. I love that. Racing games were really fun. There was another big one that I really wanted to include in my list, but with it being bigger, I forget the name of it, but it was like made by the same people that made Crossy Road, where it was like a road racing game mixed with kind of like a gotcha thing that
What was
I think it
that?
was called Smashy Road. I actually think was the
I
name.
think I think that's what it is. Yeah.
That was another absolute banger. Here, let me share my screen for my next banger of a game here. I know Carl's probably going to recognize this one immediately,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
but this is head soccer. We got some guy doing a little whatever, but it's basically soccer with, back up. When they get that glowing aura up there on the top screen, you can get it like a power meter or
Oh,
whatever.
we're not promoting.
Yeah, this is just whatever the game is. They had all these different countries that you could be, and just different whatever. I didn't actually look into it. I just clicked whatever the first one was. But head soccer, it had all these different countries, and each country had their own team and power up that you could use, just whatever that is. But they all had super meters. I don't even remember who I used back in the day. I think Brazil's had like a really fire power up, but I don't remember much.
You could play
Except
with your
that
friends
there's
though. That was like a
yeah,
huge draw of it.
is like a bunch of people at our school would always play, and I think you unlocked guys doing different missions or whatever. There's like a solo mission that you could like once you get high up in tournament, you could unlock other guys that were bigger and better, and there were some that were clearly better than others. I think everyone started out with like South Korea's, and then as you went on in tournaments, you got different stuff. But it's a fun game.
100%. So I didn't set up my stuff correctly so Christian can kind of see what the games are. But the next one I'm going to showcase is Simpsons Tapped Out. And now I don't know the type of game this is. It's like one of those like long lasting farm games, but holy crap. Like what would you call this, Christian? Like something like Heyday or
I mean, it's
um
it's like similar to Clash Royale, whatever type of game that is, where
I
it's like
can't
you could like collect
yeah,
things
I can't think of the
and
sort of
upgrade
game,
them.
but really good um game that's sort of in that subsection of mobile games where it's building your own town, doing different quests to get different stuff, upgrading your town. We were always fans of the Simpsons, so um there's a lot of like show lore in there that was cool, and yeah, it was
Hmm.
a fantastic game. I mean, really just a insane game, really fun. It actually just shut down recently, so I don't think you can download it anymore, and I think that's why I put it on my list because I stopped playing years ago. All these games I don't really play anymore, but
Yeah,
back in the day they were fantastic mobile games. So
I was gonna say, yeah, that one was a good one. I know our sister was a big fan of that one too.
yeah, oh
But
yeah.
they had like a daily lottery ticket system, which like most of those games, they have some sort of daily thing to get you to play it. Man, scratching those scratchies was a good time. Big scratchy fan.
No, 100%.
All right, here's my next one. I'm like 1,000% sure this is on your list, but if it's not, I'd be shocked. We got a Gravity Guy.
Dude, that's crazy. I was on there for a minute, but then I took it off. But yeah, continue what you were
Yeah,
gonna say.
this is replacing one of my other ones, but it's basically a platforming game where you jump up and down like you don't even jump actually, you just teleport from the top to the bottom. You like control gravity basically to platform on these different blocks. And they usually have things chasing you. I know there's a second one like that's what the second one looked
Mhm.
like. I'd say this is kind of a more better thing that like there were bad guys that you would have to avoid that would shoot at you, and in the later levels it was like really quick. And they did actually have multiplayer, as you can see here, which I don't know if we ever really did much, but it was an option to kind of see like who could stay alive the longest or who could get farthest across. Um, yeah, I really enjoyed this game. It's another really good platformer. I'm a, me, big platformer guy. But this was like one of the OG games. Like I feel like this is like one of the first apps I had on my phone when it came to games. Uh, just there. But it was a solid game, really solid. A lot of fun. I mean, I feel like a lot of these mobile games, like they got to grab your attention somehow. So you either have a lot of levels or a daily thing to kind of keep you going around to it. But this one was just a solid game.
No, 100%. Yeah, that's probably going to be the oldest app game that either one of us say. I mean, that was like on the iPod, the original iPod Touch app
Yeah.
store. So that was an OG game. But yeah,
Along
I'll
with
go to
like
the
paper
next one that I
toss.
have.
Paper
Yeah,
toss was
literally
another
like one of
OG
those
game.
OG ones. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Blitz Brigade. My favorite shooter game that I've ever played before. Um, it's almost comparable to like Teen Fortress 2, even though I've never really played that. But um, man, back in the day, this is before, COD Mobile, PUBG, Fortnite. This is literally before that. So being able to hop into different multiplayer games, capture the flag, team deathmatch, etc., in a cartoon shooter environment was super fun. Lots of, not lots, but a fair amount of different guns, abilities. You could turn invisible. um, Man, this was such a good game. There's not a ton of gameplay that I have right here, but fantastic game. They actually got sued and got taken off the App Store, which is really, really sucky.
Is
But
that by
yeah,
the Team Fortress 2 people?
no, by a different organizer and
Oh, okay.
company. But yeah, fantastic game. Wish it was still on the App Store. I'd love to play it again. But yeah, arguably my favorite mobile shooter of all time.
I think back in the day, instead of it being like battle royale being the big thing where there's like a group of like a couple of you versus like hundreds of other people, it was big into like team shooters. So it'd be like 5v5, you got to get X amount of kills, like in COD or whatever. And just the amount of power ups and stuff that they had were a ton of fun to use. I think I had like I used like the big buff guy who had like a rocket launcher was like his main thing. I just like run around
Minigun.
shooting,
Yeah.
blowing up stuff. Yeah. So that is
Yeah, he
that
was
is
the
a solid
tank.
game.
Like I used to be the assassin because the assassin had the invisibility
Hmm.
and he had the sniper. So that was like,
Oh,
I don't
that's
know.
cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
It was a good game.
I was like, I'm gonna pull my next one here, see what I can find. We got, is it this one here? Little Alchemist. This was one of my favorite games. It's basically a card game where you got 5 cards in your hand and you combine them to do other stuff. So you basically take 2 cards, stick them together, and then put them against your opponent's cards. Uh, and as you can see, this is like someone, a guy who's going for number one. So I don't even know what 95% of this is. But then whenever you combine a card, these little C's come together and you get plus whatever. There's like 3 different abilities. There's like the fire ability, which does damage to your opponent's like life points here. There is healing, which heals you the amount of orbs you got. And then there is enchanting, which is basically buffing up your card stats a couple points
Yeah,
to
yeah.
kind of beat your opponents better. And the thing that I really like most of it is when you got the higher tier cards, they have these special abilities. Is like whenever you get yours all the way full, they would unleash a special attack, whether it be making your opponent's card defense 0, doubling your attack, raising your defense, having them lose half their life points, draining some of their life points and getting it for you. So I feel like there's a fair bit of strategy, but there are like some cards that are objectively better than other cards. I mean, that's just how it goes.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Um, so I'll stop that. But basically, hey, the big time sink into this game was to research those new combos. You had to wait like 24, 48 hours to get like the good ones. And it was a real pain in the butt because you had to spend hours and hours and hours and hours just doing it. But they had like a story mode and a PvP mode. So story mode, you had like a certain amount of energy you could use a day. And so I remember just really liking that. And then you hop onto the arena and you can fight other real humans and their cards and stuff. But if you're card game fans, like I don't know, not like Hearthstone, but that's how I always
Is it
thought about it.
anything like Balatro or like
No,
Hearthstone?
I think Hearthstone more so than anything, but I didn't play much Hearthstone. But like I'd compare it in that way where like each card kind of does its own thing instead of like Pokemon cards or Digimon cards where they like
Yeah.
evolve. And instead of like Yu-Gi-Oh! Where there's like spell traps because these are only monster cards. Like
Hmm.
that's basically it. So but
Yeah, fair enough.
big
All right.
big fan of card games.
Yeah, some card games are super fun. All right. I'm going to Minnow Monsters. Now, this is the best mobile Pokemon copy that you could think of. I wonder if I could throw it in just Minnow Monsters in general to give you guys a better idea. But literally, it's literally Pokemon in
I
mobile
yeah.
format. Um, there's trying to collect them. It's battling, it's leveling them up. It's literally
I
Pokemon in
had that
mobile form.
hummingbird guy. He was my favorite.
I had this electric monkey. This was one of the only games that I actually spent money on to get a special minnow monster.
Didn't you get like the horse?
No, he was like a dinosaur
I thought it was
guy.
that guy right there, the moose. That
No,
like no, it wasn't
no, I
him.
never got him. I never even beat the game or got close because it was actually difficult. But
Yeah. Well, you just
um,
I remember you couldn't like play very much a day.
yeah,
Like
no,
you were like limited.
you were limited. But yeah, this game was really, really, really fun. Literally the best Pokemon copy. It got taken off the App Store probably a year or two or three after it was uploaded.
Came
So
out. Yeah.
um but yeah, whoever put this together put in a lot of effort and yeah, it was a really good game.
It was a lot of fun.
It's the best Pokemon copy I've ever played.
Oh, I remember that like
Easily.
hippogriff
This
thingy.
guy.
That was sick. No, the guy if you go up, that looks like a little falcon griffin
This
thing.
one?
Go
I
up
never
a little
had
bit
that
more.
guy.
Like scroll up a little bit. That guy. I remember
One.
seeing that guy on the right, but never actually getting one.
All right,
Just
there's some
like,
like
he's
furry
so
crap in here
cool.
now. This is kind of all right. Anyway, yeah, Minnow Monster's the best Pokemon copy I've ever played in my life. I
Yeah.
was obsessed with this game. Literally my favorite game for, when we had our iPod touches like 12 years
Yeah.
ago.
I figured that one was going to be on your list. So I took it off mine because I knew that you just loved that
It was
game
so
because
insane.
that one was a banger. Now this one, where is it? Oh no, I got rid of the picture. Here, let me share my screen. I deleted it on accident. The one I wanted. All right, here it is. I got my game. As long as you were done talking.
Yeah, yeah.
This game was like us and our friends were obsessed with bike race. It was awesome. I mean, basically, it's just like as you think, it's just a guy moving his bike on a little path. But the goal wasn't necessarily just to like, beat the level. There was like a time, and you could compare your times to your friends and basically race around these tracks. You're doing loop-de-loops. Like this level specifically is the one I remember, is where you just do like four loop-de-loops in a row. And each bike had different power-ups. So like the regular bike is the one on the left that you start with, but the acrobatic bike like flipped faster. And so you were able to take small little dips faster to make it so that you could jump farther. Whereas like this bike on the right, which was a pay to win bike, just gives you a faster base speed. But the best bike, Carl, do you remember what the best bike was? The one that cost money, that only
Yeah,
the
the
like
Ghost
real,
Bike.
the ghost bike.
Everyone had that.
Yeah, where you actually don't like if your guy would land on his head, he would insta die, except for the ghost bike. So you could actually take loop to loops like backwards by being like upside down, your wheels up, like curving the outside of it. So you could like drive like around this.
Think
So
it was
big,
actually faster too. Like it was so
I feel
broken.
like it.
Like it was so much money,
Unless it
or not so much. It was like six. It was like
ghost
599, but it was ridiculous
game.
the amount of money that people were spending on it.
I was like,
Um,
this is what it looked like.
no, it didn't look like that.
I think so.
It was the Ultra Bike, the black one. It was black.
Culture bike.
I no, I saw it in there. I
Well, I
saw it.
thought the ghost bike was the one that like this one here.
Yeah, it's that one.
I mean, it's literally faster. I mean, it says it right here.
Oh, dude,
It's
yeah, it was
like
bull
just
crap. It
simply
was like
faster.
everyone had that. You couldn't compete at all.
Yeah, buy it for $50? Oh
Oh, no way
my
it was that. It was
gosh.
that's got to be
It
like
was,
new because
yeah,
I
I
think
was
it
gonna
was like
say it.
$5. That's
It was
crazy.
a, yeah. I was gonna say back in the day, but yeah, you could like it had everything. You were as acrobatic as that, faster, unbreakable. I mean, it was broken. Like that bike was just
Good.
you went up against a pay to win and you would not win. But it was a ton of fun racing people online and your friends and doing just the missions or whatever.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I'll go to the next one. I'm gonna just go right into this one. This one is one of my favorite games of all time. This is another it's sort of like Clash of Clans where you build up your base, you upgrade it, you get more gold, you get more resources, blah blah blah. This one is called Knights and Dragons RPG. I think it's still around, but a lot of it was um, getting different armor. So there was a bunch of different attributes, um, 5-star and plus armor, and you had to fuse different armors to get it. There was a PvP multiplayer. If I click on to this image, sorry, Spotify listeners, you would basically have to go through all these different maps and play them on normal all the way to epic to make it harder. There's bosses. Really, really fun. Guild Wars, all that. I remember being 12 and
Hmm.
being a guild owner or whatever it is called, guild captain, guild weeb, guild loser, and yeah, caring a lot about it. And yeah, here's a picture. But yeah, this game was legit. This game was so
Yeah.
much fun. One of my favorite app games actually ever. I don't play it anymore, but when you get super involved into games like that, it's so much fun. Like it was insane.
For this game, this was one of the few games I didn't like necessarily spend money on. But if you ever saw ads where it was like, if you like buy a separate mobile game for free and beat like level 10, they give you like extra gold or whatever. And I would always try and do that just to like grind up certain things. And I liked that certain like armor pieces had like strengths and weaknesses against
Hmm.
other monsters. And so when they were ever like big raid bosses, you could like, oh, it's this water type, like I need to use the jungle armor or like the whatever, the wind
Yeah,
armor
the
or
wind armor.
something.
Yeah, it
Um
was fun,
this
dude.
was a fire game. I like totally forgot about this until I saw like
Really?
just the screenshot and I was like, no way, this one was. I
Yeah, this
sunk
is
a lot
probably
of
my
time into
favorite
it.
game actually on the list that I had,
Yeah,
or all the ones that I was going to showcase. This one's so much fun.
that one is the
I should
best.
download it again. It's probably, I don't even know if it's on the App Store anymore.
Dude, I'd
I
be
feel like a lot
surprised
of
if it
these are
was. This is
not going to be on
old.
the App Store.
No.
Like Blitz Brigade that I showed is not, Minnow Monsters is not, Simpsons Tapped Out is not. I don't even know about some of the others or the ones that I'll showcase, but I'll give it back to you.
Yeah.
Gravity Guy, is that even on
I
the
don't think
PS4?
Gravity Guy
Yeah, there's a
is.
lot of these that are
The
not
League
even.
of Super Evil, I think I'm still able to get it just because I've already purchased it. Little Alchemist is still on, but that I tried it recently. It's kind of not that good.
Dang.
Um, this is another game that I have that I loved. I don't think Carl ever played it, but I loved this game. Is it sharing?
No.
Oh, it's not sharing. Shoot, I missed the button. There we go. This game right here. Fish out of water. It
I
is the
played this.
best no Wi-Fi game ever. Basically, the point of it is you got a bunch of fish and you like Angry Birds it off. Um, but they would bounce. So like all of these fish would bounce except for the dolphin that would kind of go in and out of the water. But the water would change every like 5 minutes to a different weather, whether it be like, cloudy, stormy, wavy, all the way to like it's snowy, so there's ice, so you'll bounce at weird angles. Or there's volcanoes that'll like shoot hot air up and like launch your guy upwards. And you collect these little boosties. I think they're literally called boosties, not even boosts.
The like
Yeah, you
pieces of
collect these little
gold or
boosties that
something.
you can use to tap and shoot your guy farther. And basically, the point of it is they judge you based on how many skips you have, how far you have, and like, I don't know, the average of both of those things. And they also had these things called charms, which is in that little treasure chest down here. where you could like combine two colors. Whenever you like completed missions, you would get these random assortments of gems, and you could use those gems for making like a thing to make your score go farther, like this little green one I think showing here, or you could use them for costumes, which is by far the best thing, where they would give your guys different stats. Like the fancy Olympus was this guy. He would basically collect boosties from farther away. So like my favorite strategy was pick him, throw him, don't use anything, and just collect a billion boosties, and then use the rocket with the crash helmet power up and just launch him like clear in the sky. He just like wouldn't skip, but he'd go flying. Uh, yeah, I was a big fan of this game. And then once you get a perfect 10, 10, 10, they start ranking it based on points, and you can compare that to like other people. And I actually tried to get this game recently. This is made by the same company that made Fruit Ninja, fun fact.
No way.
And you have to pay. So for like Fruit Ninja or Fish Out of Water or any of the games made by this company, you have to pay per month to play all those games.
It's a subscription. That's so weird.
It's a subscription service, and it is so dumb. I was pissed. You get 1 free hour of all half half brick, I think is what it's called.
Oh, it's a
Half
half
brick
brick.
games.
Okay. Dude,
So
that
you
they
get
made
1 hour
Jetpack
to play.
Joyride, didn't they?
I
Half
think they
brick?
might
I
have.
think they
I think
did,
so.
bro.
And so even that game, I think it's a pay-per-view, pay
No
per
way,
subscription.
dude.
And so it sucks
That's one of the
because
best
they
games
had so
ever.
many banger mobile games.
Yeah,
They
they
were like the
did.
pioneer of mobile games.
Break.
Because
I'm
like
trying to
Jetpack
think. There's
Joyride
probably
is like,
other. I'm pretty sure Jetpack because I specifically remember the logo popping up
yeah,
before the game starts. Yeah, dude, that's insane.
half brick mobile.
Maybe I'm
I think I
wrong, but
stopped changing.
I actually think.
No, I think Jetpack Joyride was the biggest one outside of Fruit Ninja. No, yeah, it's Fish Out of Water, Jetpack Joyride, Fruit Ninja are like the three big ones. And I have a couple
Wow,
others, but those are like the only ones that people actually played.
dude, that was huge. That was probably
Hmm.
another big one. But yeah, I can go on to my next.
Yeah, go for it.
I think this is my second to last or not, but yeah, Infinity Blade, specifically Infinity Blade 3. Um, I think this one was specifically free back in the day, but I think 1 and 2 were paid. And man, oh man, this was back when mobile gaming was really peak. Graphics were insane, insane, even on the iPod Touch. Um, but yeah, basically Infinity Blade is like a third person. No, it's first person combat game where you basically can just attack or block, but you're facing many different bosses and stuff. I almost want to look up a better picture because this is just the app. I spelled infinity wrong. Sue me. Um, but yeah, I mean, it looks like this. I mean, it is just so badass. Super fun. You get different blades. Obviously, the Infinity Blade's the best one, right? Of course. But
It's like,
holy crap, this game was so much fun. I never beat it. It was way too difficult for me, and or I didn't have the good armor, or I never got the Infinity Blade. All right, I'm outing myself. I never got it, but you could pay to get it, and I was not going to do that. But really, really, really fun game. Anyone who's played it knows. And this is not on the App Store anymore. They had another kerfuffle,
I
some
was gonna
some
say it looks
issue
really
where they're
Skyrim-ish to me.
dude,
That's how I
like
always
the
felt. I was like,
graphics,
it's
bro, and
really
that was like in
Skyrim-y.
2015, bro. The third one or some, I don't know, maybe
Dude,
I'm
I
making
bet it was
mistakes.
before. Like, I wouldn't
Well,
be
I'm talking about
surprised it
the
was.
third one, bro.
Yeah,
And I'm like, dude, it
yeah.
looked graphically insane. I mean,
For
the
a
mobile games
mobile game,
now
yeah.
are not putting in the amount of effort that they were back then, and they were free, which is
Hmm.
crazy.
Yeah. Well, all games are kind of a cash grab nowadays, which sucks. Like all the
Yeah,
new big games like
all battle
Block
pass
Blast, Battle
nonsense.
Pass stuff. Yeah.
Thanks, Fortnite.
All right. Let me pull up my next one. Now, this one is a bit of a big mobile game, but I literally could not live with myself if I didn't put it on the list. But Plants vs. Zombies, I think, is like objectively the best mobile game.
It's so much
It
fun.
encapsulates like all of what you want in a game. So just this screenshot alone. I mean, I'm sure if you were watching this video, You knew this was going to be on
For
here.
the Spotify listeners, what is this game, Christian?
This is Plants versus Zombies. Basically, you got sun right here in the top left. These sunflowers produce sun, and you use it to buy plants. And the plants will shoot. You got pea shooters. You got walnuts. You got the potato mines. You got frost peas. And they hit the zombies that are trying to come in the house and eat your brains. Now, there's a whole level system. There's like, I think, 8 levels per world. And like, they got day, they got night, they got pool day and night, they got rooftops, and they got a big, scary mecha boss at the end,
And they got
which is
Crazy Frank, or
awesome.
I don't even remember his name.
Crazy Dave. Crazy
Crazy
Dave.
Dave, yeah.
I actually played this game recently because my job there where we take lunch, we just don't have Wi-Fi. This is Crazy Dave down here, actually. He's what is this, a book? Yeah, it's a book. That's Crazy Dave right there.
Bro.
Um,
Plants vs.
but
Zombies manga. What the hell?
this is what they originally looked like. You see how weird the zombie looks? Um, One of my favorite parts about this game wasn't even the story mode, but the plethora of mini games. They
Yeah.
had Vase Breaker. They had like teleport guys. They had I think it was like Portal. They had endless mode. They had survival mode where you only have like 5,000 sun for the whole thing, and you got to use it for like 10 waves of zombies.
Hmm.
The cattails were my favorite because they were like heat sinking thorns that would go and hit everything.
I like the
Um,
cactus.
Cactus.
Hmm.
I was a big fan of the spiky guys. But what was it? The Zen Garden. I don't know if you remember that, but
Yeah,
they
I
basically
do.
had an area. It was like kind of like a gotcha area where you would collect these plants that you use for shooting to pretty much
Farm
you can
resources,
collect,
right?
yeah, farm money. So you can farm money to buy different plants or
Yeah.
buy different other things. And man, that is like one of the best games. I was playing it recently and I've spent like a couple months just replaying it. And it was still just as fun as when I was a
When did it
kid.
come out? Like 2008?
I
It
want
was
to
a
say like
PC game.
2009,
It was a
2008,
yeah, it
yeah.
was a PC game. It was so fire.
But it was perfect for mobile. Like
Yeah. We
I
had it
don't
on the
think any
DS.
PC game, yeah, I was gonna say any mobile quick thing because rounds were fast. They were never longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They were fun. They were easy. It was not hard to understand. It was just easy and fun and very quick. So
So fire. But
best
yeah,
game.
I'll go to my this is my last one, I believe, unless I already
Mhm.
showcased it. Um Quiz Up.
I'm so happy you put this on here.
Quiz Up. Now, if you don't know what Quiz Up is, you've probably heard of the other game,
Worst
Trivia
version.
Crack.
Yeah.
That was big in 2015, 2017. Quiz Up was the original trivia game to play with friends, people around the world. And now I'm going to share. It's basically like, oh, history, like what you're seeing now. Who painted Mona Lisa? It's time. You get 10 seconds per question. The quickest, or, the quicker
Thought I
you
had it on my
respond,
phone.
then the more points you get. And then it tallies up at the end. There's a bonus round at the end where you get double points. But anyway, there's a bunch of different things from animals, logos, car logos, or like pop culture, any of this, and you would get a rank versus, or not versus, but based on the amount of points or games that you won. And actually, Christian and I were ranked in Minnesota from
Hmm.
different categories. And so, correct me if I'm wrong, Christian, but I think you were number 3 in Minnesota for animals.
Yeah, it was. I like grinded the absolute crap out of this game. I was playing it every day, all the time. Like, I work at a zoo, so animals is like my life. So I like knew most of it going in there. Anything I didn't know, I just memorized. And
Mm-hmm.
it was like the second the question pops up, I'm clicking answer. Like that's basically the meta of this game, is they had like a set like 100 or so questions. And then once you memorize them all, then you just lock in and you do it quick.
Yeah,
And
I
I
was
think
actually ranked number 9 in logos. And
logos.
that was very difficult to do, or just in Minnesota, because logos was a lot more popular. It was one of the more popular um, categories that you could quiz up on. And I remember reaching, I mean, dude, we were over level 100. on some of this
Hmm.
stuff. I
Oh,
mean,
easy. I mean,
um,
I think I
I
like just got rid of it not too many years ago, but I just never played it,
well,
you
it's
know, for
horrible now
forever.
because it's they added pay to win, they added
Hmm.
ads, they added. I
Hmm.
mean, it's like mobile gaming 10 years ago was plus 10 years plus was so much better than it will ever be because it wasn't so much a money grab. I think the App Store and Google Play Store paid creators and developers a lot more, so they didn't have to
Hmm.
rely on advertisements or paying for or putting stuff in their game that is going to increase your
I think
experience or whatever
I
or
think
your
there was like
prestige.
a lot of passion too. Like people just had passion. Like I
Yeah.
think of Infinity Blade. People had a lot of passion to make a game like that.
Hmm.
Whereas like nowadays, it's literally a cash grab. There is no enjoyment. There's no fun. Any like brand new made mobile game is just garbage. So
I
I
mean,
agree.
if I'm being honest, Christian, I don't want to speak for you, but I really only have two games on my phone, and it's Clash Royale and recently got into Brawl Stars actually, so I still have that on
I
my
was gonna say
phone.
you got me into Brawl Stars a little
But
bit, and I have like those two plus Pokemon Go,
oh, I
but
still
I
have that.
barely
But
play Pokemon Go
yeah, I don't
ever. Like
play
maybe
that at
once a
all.
month at most. I played it a lot more when I had time, and I feel like I just don't have time
Yeah.
because all the mobile games are just bad, or just like old ones for nostalgia. Like I've been playing Bad Piggies and Plants vs Zombies
Ooh,
if I
I
don't
was
have
gonna put that on my
Wi-Fi.
list actually.
I thought you were gonna have it on your list. There's a
Bad,
few other games. Yeah, I was like,
Bad
I
Piggies
want to
is
talk about
fire.
Clash Royale, Pokemon Go, Bad Piggies, any of the Angry Birds. I mean, they're all good.
Yeah. Just tried to,
So
we tried to talk
tried to
about
get
some ones
some
that maybe you've never heard of,
niche.
or try to
Two
reignite nostalgia in any listener.
two big ones that I love were flick fishing. It's like where you would like go, and you'd like shake your phone.
All right. Well, I think Christian's phone, or not phone, but computer died. But yeah, that's hilarious. Um, Dang. Okay. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode. Hold up, he just texted me. He said, "Dude, my computer died at 20%." Yo, that's hilarious. But yeah. Um, if you're listening on YouTube and or Spotify, feel free to check in on our other platforms. We do have an Instagram. It is called WeChat. Um, yeah, I mean, if you guys like what you're hearing, please, we want to hear your comments, your concerns, your inquiries, all the above, what you like, don't like. But yeah, Christian and I have thought about doing a lot of different stuff besides just talking about, our childhood, nostalgia, video games, etc., but playing different games. Christian and I don't live in the same state, so we don't see each other much, if at all, anymore. So a lot of this is on Zoom. We're trying to problem solve some different stuff, but we have a bunch of different things that we're working on. And yeah, if this sounds like something you guys would be interested in us playing games on Discord or anything like that, let us know. But again, WeChat is out. Thank you guys.